What if I told you there's an ancient secret, a timeless code that can make you utterly unforgettable? I'm not talking about being the loudest in the room, not about chasing attention, validation, or approval. I'm talking about a presence so powerful, so grounded, that it commands respect without saying a word, a quiet confidence, a calm, unshakable force that radiates from within. Imagine building a core of self-worth so solid that no insult can dent it, no rejection can shake it, and no praise can inflate it. Imagine facing betrayal, chaos, or loss, not with panic, but with poise, strength, and clarity. This isn't reserved for the lucky few. This isn't a gift, it's a skill, a weapon forged by the greatest minds in history, by the Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca. These men understood the truth. Being unforgettable isn't about what you own, it's about who you become. It's not the noise you make, it's the energy you carry. It's the character you forge in silence. And if you're here right now, you're ready. Ready to stop chasing people, ready to stop begging for respect, ready to become the one they regret losing. Before we dive in, hit that like button, subscribe, and comment, "I am ready," to declare that you are done playing small. You are here to rise. You are here to master your mind, your emotions, and your presence. This is the beginning of your transformation. Let's begin. 1. Forge your inner citadel, the unbreachable fortress of self-worth. The first and most crucial step on the path to becoming unforgettable is to turn your attention inward. You must construct what the great Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius referred to as your inner citadel. Imagine right now a fortress within your own mind. Its walls are built of reason, its foundations are laid with self-knowledge, and its gates are guarded by your own sovereign will. This citadel is your sanctuary, the source of your true power, and it is utterly impervious to the chaos of the external world. The world will spend every single day trying to define you, to label you, to assign you a value based on its flimsy and ever-shifting metrics. Your job title, your bank balance, your social media following, your physical appearance. The Stoics recognized this relentless external evaluation for what it is: a fool's game, a guaranteed path to a life of anxiety, envy, and quiet desperation. They argued with unwavering certainty that your worth is not, and can never be, determined by anything outside of you. It is an inside job. You are the sole architect and the sole occupant of this inner fortress. The legendary Stoic teacher Epictetus, a man who endured the brutalities of slavery to become one of the most revered philosophers in history, gave this radical piece of advice. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Let that sink into your very bones. In our hypervisible performative culture, the Stoic path to strength begins with this courageous act of defiance. It is the willingness to be misunderstood, to be underestimated, even to be ignored, because you are anchored in the unshakable knowledge of your own intrinsic value. You are the only judge in the only courtroom that truly matters. So, how do you begin laying the stones for this impregnable fortress? The master tool, the very bedrock of Stoic practice, is the dichotomy of control. This is a principle so simple in its phrasing and so profound in its application that it can single-handedly revolutionize your experience of life. The universe is divided into two distinct domains: those things that are within your control and those things that are not. What is not within your control? The weather, the economy, the past, the future, what other people think of you, whether they like you, whether they approve of your life choices. What is in your control? Your thoughts, your beliefs, your judgments, your choices, your attitude, your effort, the character you choose to build, and the virtues you choose to embody. The unforgettable person is a ruthless curator of their own attention. They waste zero energy, zero time, and zero emotional currency on the vast and turbulent ocean of things they cannot influence. Their sense of validation comes not from the applause of the crowd, but from the quiet, internal nod of approval that comes from knowing they have acted with integrity and focused their power where it has an actual impact. Here is your first mission: the circle of control exercise. Take out a piece of paper and draw a large circle in the center. Inside this circle, list everything that is truly up to you: your response to a provocation, your honesty, your discipline, the books you read, your morning routine. Now, outside that circle, list everything that is not up to you: the outcome of an election, how someone interprets your email, whether you get the promotion after you've given your best effort. From this moment forward, when you feel the sting of anxiety, anger, or inadequacy, mentally consult this map. Are you investing your precious energy inside or outside the circle? If you find your mind wandering into the uncontrollable territory, you must consciously, deliberately, and forcefully drag it back inside. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man on earth during his time, had to remind himself of this fundamental truth constantly in his private journal, writing, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you internalize this principle, a seismic shift occurs in your psyche. You cease being a leaf in the wind, tossed about by the whims of fortune and the opinions of others. You become the master of your inner world, the captain of your soul. This is the foundation of the quiet, self-assured confidence that makes a person unforgettable. 2. Master your judgments. The art of unflappable composure. Think about the individuals who have left an indelible mark on your life. It is highly likely they possessed a certain quality of stillness, an unshakable composure, a calm presence that seemed to anchor them even when chaos erupted around them. This is not a sign of apathy or a lack of feeling. It is the hallmark of emotional mastery, a core discipline of Stoic practice. The Stoics were not emotionless robots. They experienced the full spectrum of human feeling, from grief to joy. The critical difference was that they refused to be slaves to their emotions. They understood a revolutionary psychological truth. Our feelings are not triggered directly by external events, but by the judgments we form about those events. This is the game-changing insight. As Epictetus stated so clearly and powerfully, men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. This single idea places the locus of control for your emotional life squarely back in your hands. A traffic jam cannot make you angry. A critical comment cannot make you feel insecure. These events are, in and of themselves, neutral data. It is the narrative you attach to them, the judgment you assent to, the internal story that says, "This is terrible. This is unfair. This is a disaster," that ignites the emotional fire. The unforgettable person is a master of their internal domain. They don't have knee-jerk reactions. They have thoughtful, deliberate responses. They have cultivated the sacred space between stimulus and response. And in that space lies their power, their freedom, and their grace. So how do you cultivate this godlike composure? You begin by practicing the art of the cognitive pause. The moment you feel a powerful hot emotion begin to rise, be it anger, jealousy, fear, or frustration, You must train yourself not to react instantly. You must create a buffer zone. Inhale deeply, all the way into your belly. Count to 10. Walk away from the computer screen. Put the phone down. In that sacred pause, you wrest control back from your primitive, reactive amygdala and hand it over to your rational, thoughtful prefrontal cortex. The Stoic philosopher and statesman Seneca, who had to navigate the treacherous and emotionally volatile court of the Emperor Nero, knew this secret was a matter of survival. He advised, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." During this intentional delay, you must become a detective of your own thoughts. Ask yourself a series of diagnostic questions with the precision of a surgeon. Is this impression I'm having based in objective reality, or am I catastrophizing? Is my judgment accurate? Will this situation that feels so monumental right now even matter in a week, a month, or a year? What is the most virtuous, the most effective, the most honorable way for me to respond right now? This simple two-step process, pause and question, is the difference between an action you will later regret and a response you can be proud of. It is the difference between being a victim of your emotions and the master of your emotional state. Furthermore, you must become an expert at cognitive reframing. This is the conscious act of changing the story you tell yourself about an event. Let's say you get passed over for a promotion at work. The initial unexamined impression might be, "This is a disaster. I'm a failure. My career is over." This story will inevitably lead to feelings of despair and helplessness. Now, let's apply a Stoic reframe. I did not get the promotion I wanted. This is painful, and I will allow myself to feel that pain. But this is also information. This is an opportunity to analyze my weaknesses, to seek honest feedback, to develop new skills, and to become an even stronger and more undeniable candidate for the next opportunity. The obstacle is the way. The event has not changed, but by changing the narrative, you have transformed a catastrophe into a catalyst for growth. The unforgettable person is a masterful author of their own life story. They choose narratives of empowerment, resilience, and learning. As Marcus Aurelius affirmed, the universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. True emotional control is not about suppressing your feelings. It's about understanding them and choosing your response wisely. The unforgettable individual feels everything, but is controlled by nothing. Their calm is not emptiness, it is power. 3. Embody virtue, the unwavering compass of character. In a culture that often glorifies fame, wealth, and power above all else, the Stoics presented a radical and more enduring path to a life of significance: the relentless pursuit of virtue. For the Stoics, the ultimate purpose of life was not happiness in our modern sense of fleeting pleasure or constant excitement. The goal was eudaimonia, a richer Greek concept that translates to human flourishing, living a life of excellence, or being the best possible version of yourself. And the only way to achieve this state of flourishing, they argued, was through the daily conscious practice of the 4 cardinal virtues. These virtues are not abstract, lofty ideals to be debated in a classroom. They are a practical, hands-on toolkit for navigating the complexities of human existence. The first is wisdom, Sophia, the ability to see the world clearly as it is, to distinguish between what is good, what is bad, and what is indifferent, and to make sound judgments. The second is courage, Andrea, not just physical bravery, but the moral fortitude to face difficulty, to stand up for what is right even when it is unpopular, and to endure pain and hardship with grace and resilience. The third is justice, dikaiosine, which to the Stoics meant more than just legality. It meant treating every single person with fairness, kindness, dignity, and respect, recognizing our shared humanity. The fourth is temperance, sophrosyne, or self-control. The ability to moderate your desires and appetites, to avoid excess in all its forms, and to maintain a healthy balance in your life. These four virtues formed the unwavering moral compass that guided every decision and every action of a practicing Stoic. The truly unforgettable person is, at their core, a person of profound and unshakable character. Their words and actions are in perfect alignment. They are not swayed by peer pressure or the allure of an easy shortcut. Their integrity is their superpower. Marcus Aurelius, in a moment of powerful self-instruction, cut through all the noise and philosophical debate with a simple command to himself. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. This is the ultimate call to action. Don't just talk about having integrity, embody it. Don't just admire courage in others. Be courageous in your own life. Let your actions be the sermon. To cultivate these virtues, you must make them a conscious and deliberate part of your daily life. Start by defining your personal philosophy. What principles do you stand for? What does wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance look like for you in your specific circumstances, at your job, in your family, in your community? Write these principles down, not as a vague list of ideals, but as a concrete code of conduct for yourself. Then, you must adopt the Stoic practice of the nightly philosophical journal. This was a non-negotiable ritual for thinkers like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius. Before sleep, review your day in a clear-eyed, objective, and non-judgmental manner. Ask yourself, where did I act with wisdom today? Where did fear cause me to hesitate or act poorly? Was I fair and kind in all my dealings with others? Did I give in to an unhealthy craving or impulse? Where did I fall short of my own code? And most importantly, how can I do better tomorrow? This is not an exercise in self-flagellation or shame. It is an act of self-improvement, of holding yourself accountable to the highest possible standard out of self-respect. The unforgettable person is not a saint. They are a dedicated student of life, constantly striving to close the gap between who they are and who they aspire to be. This unwavering commitment to character creates a powerful, magnetic aura. People are instinctively drawn to those who possess an unshakable moral core. They may forget the clever things you said or the impressive things you accomplished, but they will never, ever forget the quality of your character. It is the most enduring and impactful legacy you can possibly build. 4. Embrace voluntary discomfort, the crucible of unbreakable confidence. Confidence. It is a quality that radiates power, attracts respect, and makes a person instantly memorable. But the kind of confidence we are talking about here is not the loud, brittle arrogance that often masks deep insecurity. We are talking about true, deep, unshakable Stoic confidence, a quiet self-assurance that is not born from a life of ease, comfort, and praise. It is forged, tempered, and hardened in the crucible of voluntary discomfort. The Stoics understood a profound psychological truth. We are all far more capable, far more resilient, and far stronger than we believe ourselves to be. However, we will never discover the true extent of our own power if we spend our lives neurotically seeking pleasure and avoiding pain at all costs. A life dedicated to comfort is a life that breeds weakness, fragility, and fear. The Stoic path to genuine confidence, therefore, involves deliberately and strategically stepping out of your comfort zone on a regular basis. Seneca, one of the wealthiest men in the Roman Empire, was a master of this practice. He would regularly set aside days to practice poverty, wearing his roughest clothes, eating only the barest of meals, and sleeping on a hard floor. He did this not out of a desire for self-punishment, but as a form of mental and spiritual inoculation. He was vaccinating himself against the fear of loss. He was teaching his mind and body that he could not only survive without his wealth and luxuries, but that he could maintain his tranquility and contentment. He powerfully wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." By voluntarily embracing hardship, you are building what modern psychologists call self-efficacy, the unshakable belief in your own ability to handle challenges, overcome adversity, and thrive in any circumstance. This is the very bedrock of authentic confidence. The unforgettable person is not terrified of hardship. They have learned to welcome it as a sparring partner, an opportunity to sharpen their skills and strengthen their resolve. You can begin integrating this transformative practice into your life immediately with small but potent actions. Take a cold shower in the morning. The initial shock is a microdose of adversity that you consciously choose to overcome, starting your day with an act of discipline and courage. Fast for a period of time, proving to yourself that you are the master of your appetites, not their slave. Exercise to the point of genuine fatigue, pushing past the whining voice in your head that begs you to quit, and discovering a reservoir of mental toughness you didn't know you possessed. Have that difficult, awkward conversation you have been avoiding. Each time you intentionally do something that is hard, you cast a vote for a new identity, the identity of someone who does not run from challenges, but rather walks towards them. The point of these exercises is not self-torture. It is to systematically expand the boundaries of your comfort zone until it is so vast that very few things in life can truly rattle you. As the modern-day warrior philosopher Jocko Willink states, discipline equals freedom. The discipline to face discomfort frees you from the prison of fear. This extends to how you view failure. The Stoics were realists. They knew that setbacks are an inevitable part of any worthwhile endeavor. The unforgettable person does not see failure as a final judgment on their worth. They see it as feedback, as data, as a lesson paid for in the currency of experience. Epictetus urged his students to remember this. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Implicit in this is the understanding that the process will involve struggle and missteps. True confidence is not the absence of fear. It is the courage to act in the presence of fear. It is the quiet, calm knowledge, born from experience, that you have faced the fire before and you can face it again. The unforgettable person walks with a confidence that is earned, not inherited. It is the quiet strength of a warrior who is proud of their scars. 5. Practice memento mori, the urgent call of a life well lived. I want you to perform a thought experiment with me right now, a profound and powerful one. Close your eyes for a moment and genuinely contemplate the fact that your time on this earth is finite. Imagine that today was your last day. What trivialities that consumed your energy yesterday would you instantly let go of? What fears about the future would suddenly seem insignificant? What important words of love and gratitude would you finally say? Who would you forgive, not for their sake, but for yours? This potent and sobering reflection is the essence of the Stoic practice of memento mori. Remember that you must die. In our modern culture, which is obsessed with youth and often treats death as a taboo subject to be avoided at all costs, this might sound morbid or depressing. But for the Stoics, it was the ultimate tool for living a life of meaning, urgency, and profound joy. The constant, gentle awareness of our own mortality is not meant to be a source of anxiety. It is a clarifying lens, a powerful motivator that strips away the non-essential and focuses the mind on what truly, deeply matters. As the great emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself in his private meditations, a book never meant for publication, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This is not a threat. It is an invitation to live with profound intention, to stop sleepwalking through our days. The unforgettable person lives with a palpable sense of urgency, not a frantic, anxious energy, but a focused, purposeful drive. They do not procrastinate on their dreams. They do not postpone their love. They do not waste their precious, unrepeatable days on petty grudges, mindless distractions, or soul-crushing negativity. They understand that life is an extraordinary and improbable gift, and that this gift comes with an expiration date. How can you integrate this life-altering practice into your daily routine without becoming morose? It can be as simple as placing a small object on your desk, a skull, an hourglass, or even just a simple note with the letter M on it that reminds you of the transient nature of life. Begin each day by taking just 60 seconds to reflect on this truth. Ask yourself the powerful questions. If I were not to wake up tomorrow, would I be proud of how I lived today? Am I living in alignment with my deepest values? Am I being the person I truly want to be? This daily check-in acts as a powerful filter, helping you to prioritize your actions and giving you the immense courage to let go of what doesn't matter. It helps you to forgive others more easily, to express your gratitude more freely, and to love more completely. Another facet of memento mori is to zoom out and contemplate the impermanence of all things. The Stoics were masters of perspective. They would often practice an exercise known as the view from above, imagining themselves soaring over their city, their country, the entire planet, and then looking back through the vast corridors of time, seeing empires rise and fall like sandcastles. From this cosmic perspective, our individual lives, our worries, our triumphs, and our tribulations appear as they truly are, brief, fleeting moments in the grand, unending tapestry of existence. This is not meant to make you feel insignificant. On the contrary, it is meant to liberate you from the crushing weight of your ego and to fill you with awe for the simple fact that you get to exist at all. It highlights the foolishness of our anxieties. As Seneca wisely pointed out, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. The unforgettable person is not a time waster. They are a time investor. They invest every precious moment in meaningful work, deep relationships, and the constant cultivation of their character. This practice of remembering death ultimately leads to a more vibrant and appreciative life. When you are acutely aware of how fragile and temporary everything is, you begin to savor the present moment with an intensity you never thought possible. The unforgettable person is not a complainer. They are a connoisseur of the now, finding beauty in the ordinary, because they know that every single moment is a gift that will never come again. 6. Embrace amor fati, the unforgettable power of loving your fate. This next secret is perhaps the most challenging and yet the most liberating of all Stoic principles. It is the concept of amor fati, a Latin phrase that translates to a love of one's fate. This is not a passive resignation to whatever happens. It is not simply gritting your teeth and bearing it. It is an active, joyful, and enthusiastic embrace of everything that life throws your way. The good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly, the triumphant, and the tragic. It is the belief that every single event in your life, no matter how painful or unwelcome it may seem at the time, is a necessary and even beneficial part of your unique journey. It's the practice of not just accepting your fate, but loving it. The unforgettable person who embodies amor fati possesses a resilience that seems almost superhuman. They do not waste time complaining, wishing things were different, or lamenting, "Why me?" Instead, they meet every event with the powerful question, "How can I use this? What opportunity does this present?" They are alchemists of the soul, capable of transforming pain into wisdom, failure into strength, and loss into a deeper appreciation for life. The great German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, who was deeply influenced by the Stoics, articulated this concept perfectly. "My formula for greatness in a human being is amor fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity, not merely bear what is necessary, still less conceal it, but love it." To cultivate this powerful mindset, you must begin to see life not as a series of random events, but as a perfectly designed curriculum for your own growth. When you face a setback, a job loss, a difficult diagnosis, a betrayal, the initial human response is resistance. We fight against reality. The Stoic, practicing amor fati, trains themselves to do the opposite. They surrender to the reality of the moment, not in defeat, but in trust. They trust that this event, this obstacle, is actually the way forward. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius provided a powerful metaphor for this mindset. He wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." Your mind must become this blazing fire. It must be so powerful, so well trained, that it can take any piece of fuel, any hardship, any piece of bad luck, and convert it into light, heat, and energy for your journey. This is not about pretending that painful things are not painful. It is about choosing to find the good in them. The job loss becomes the catalyst for starting the business you always dreamed of. The heartbreak becomes the lesson that teaches you what true love really is. The illness becomes the teacher that shows you the preciousness of every single healthy day. This is a radical reframing of your entire relationship with life. It moves you from the position of a victim to the position of a co-creator. When you truly embrace amor fati, you become unstoppable and deeply unforgettable, because you radiate an energy of acceptance and power that is incredibly rare. People are drawn to those who are not at war with reality. They are inspired by those who can find beauty and opportunity in the darkest of times. You become a living testament to the indomitable power of the human spirit. You become someone who can genuinely say, "This happened, and it was meant for me. I will not just survive it, I will be made better by it. I love this life, not in spite of its hardships, but because of them." That is a person who leaves a mark on the world. 7. Cultivate sympathia, the unforgettable power of human connection. The final and perhaps most profound secret to becoming unforgettable is a concept that moves us from the inner world of self-mastery to the outer world of our relationships with others. It is the Stoic idea of sympathia. This is the beautiful and powerful recognition that all things in the universe are interconnected, that we are all part of a single, unified whole. The Stoics believed that every human being is a limb on the same body, a branch on the same tree, a citizen of the same universal city, or cosmos. The hand cannot logically say to the foot, "I have no need of you," because the health of the body depends on the health and cooperation of all its parts. We are not isolated atoms bouncing off one another in a chaotic and competitive world. We are fundamentally interconnected, and our own well-being is inextricably linked to the well-being of the whole. The Emperor Marcus Aurelius captured this sentiment perfectly when he stated, "What is not good for the beehive is not good for the bee." This simple analogy is a radical call for a shift in perspective, from a narrow, egocentric view that asks, "What's in it for me?" to a broad, altruistic one that asks, "What is best for us?" The truly unforgettable person is not a lone wolf, clawing their way to the top by stepping on others. They are a builder of bridges, a weaver of community, a force for unity and cooperation. They understand that true strength lies not in isolation and dominance, but in connection and contribution. How then do you actively cultivate this sense of sympathia in a world that often encourages division, tribalism, and competition? You begin with the daily practice of empathy. In every interaction you have, make a conscious and deliberate effort to see the world through the other person's eyes. Listen with the intent to understand, not merely to craft your reply. Set aside your own agenda, your own judgments, and your own burning need to be right, and try to genuinely grasp their perspective, their feelings, and their struggles. Remind yourself constantly of the simple truth that every single person you meet is fighting a hard battle you know nothing about. With this understanding as your foundation, treat everyone, from the CEO to the janitor, from your best friend to your worst enemy, with an equal measure of kindness, dignity, and respect. Another powerful Stoic exercise is to visualize what they called the circles of Hierarchies. Picture a series of concentric circles. In the very center is your own self. The next circle contains your immediate family. The next, your friends and neighbors. Then your city, your country. And finally, in the outermost circle, the whole of the human race. The Stoic task, and the work of a lifetime, is to consciously and deliberately work to pull those outer circles closer to the center. It is the practice of learning to care for your neighbor as you care for your brother, to care for a stranger in a distant land as you care for your neighbor, until you see no fundamental difference between them. This is not a sentimental exercise in wishful thinking. It is a profound moral and spiritual discipline. It is a commitment to expanding your capacity for compassion until it encompasses all of creation. Seneca beautifully wrote, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." The unforgettable person becomes a beacon of this expansive kindness. They are the person who offers a helping hand without being asked, who gives a word of genuine encouragement to someone who is struggling, who listens without judgment, and who sees the shared humanity, the divine spark, in every single person they meet. This is the quality that truly endures in the hearts and minds of others, long after accomplishments have faded and words have been forgotten. We have journeyed deep into the heart of Stoic wisdom today. We have unearthed the 7 potent secrets that can transform you into a person of quiet strength, unshakable confidence, and profound, lasting impact. So, my question to you is this: what are you going to do now? Don't let this just be another inspiring video that you watch and then forget. The power is not in the knowing. It is in the doing. I challenge you to take just one of these secrets and apply it to your life, starting today. Right now. Maybe tonight you will start a journal and review your day according to virtue. Maybe tomorrow morning you will take that cold shower. Maybe today you will look at a frustrating event and try to practice amor fati. Whatever it is, no matter how small it seems, take that first step. Action is the only antidote to mediocrity. The world is waiting for the authentic, powerful, and unforgettable you to emerge. If this message resonated with you, if you feel that call to a higher standard and are ready to continue on this journey of self-mastery, then I invite you to do 3 things to join our community of modern warriors. Hit that like button if you haven't already to show your support for this kind of message. Leave a comment below and tell me which one of these 7 Stoic secrets you are going to commit to practicing this week. Your public commitment will inspire others and hold you accountable. Share this video with someone who you think needs to hear this message. Be the catalyst for their transformation. Thank you for your time and your attention today. Remember, you have within you, right now, the strength, the resilience, and the power to become the person you were always meant to be. A person of virtue, a person of purpose, a person who is truly, deeply unforgettable. Now go out there and live it.